guys, we are live finally. Super excited to be here today. Dani and I are talking about Evergreen events, right? And we're a few minutes late because we were chatting too much.
It's too bad that we like each other and like to talk.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was like telling her a story. We're like, oh, we're late.
Okay. I get it. We're live. Just making sure
we're
live
in a bunch of different places. So be sure to click the Be Live thing so that we can see your name. That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, good. It's working. Good. Yeah, everything's good on my side as well. Just want to double check. Yay, we're here. All right. So we just came out of an amazing summit. I hope I'm not breaking up too much. Am I freezing?
Not for me.
Oh, okay.
We'll just go with it.
All right. Well, we had a really cool week last week, didn't we?
Yeah, it was really fun. And I can't believe it's a week out already. You know, like the summit ended on Friday and then I had the worst computer problems of like my life. So I kind of feel like it's the next day because I've had so many problems with my computer since then.
I know. And did you get a new computer yesterday or today?
No, the saga still is continuing, but I'm on my old laptop that I had before. So I got water damage on my MacBook Air, and then I've been like struggling to find a temporary, get it fixed, whatever. And so now my old laptop. So it's a little slow, but it's okay. I reformatted it, and I mean we're working with it, but I still need to figure out what to do because I don't know if I want to get it fixed or get a new one. So many decisions to make.
Oh, that sucks. And this is kind of like the base of all of our businesses is the computer, is the laptop. Yeah. So it's like when that doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. Like we build our businesses online for like, you know, freedom. And I always used to say, all I need is strong internet. And then I'm like, no, I need strong internet and a computer that works.
Two important things. I know.
Two important things, but you know, it's kind of cool. We can build our businesses with just a computer, just internet. I did try with like my laptop and my phone and stuff, and I was able to get some stuff done. But I'm used to like multitasking with like 20 tabs up or more, so it's been a struggle.
Yeah, and I love that. So what we're going to be talking about today is really about how we can, even with a crappy computer. And bad internet, we can still create something that works because we did like you teach courses that are pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But we just came out of a summit that like if this had happened in a live summit, you know, where everything was live, it would have been kind of a bit disastrous, right?
Complete disaster. Yeah, so I'm so lucky it happened like the day after.
It's true. But I mean, a lot of the content was already created beforehand.
Yeah.
And that I think, you know, that's kind of where I'm going with that. I'm like thinking, okay, yeah, the internet sucks. It's not so good. I mean, for me right now, my internet is being really weird. But, you know, we can still create experiences like that, even if things mess up. And there's kind of a way to do it.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to talk a little bit about this Evergreen events.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was, you know, talking about the issues with my computer on my Facebook page, and a lot of people were like, you know, this is the beauty of having things that are evergreen, because if your computer is broken, your work is still out there selling itself, right? So even though I was like struggling to get work done, it was already created. So like so much was already created. I was getting sales while my computer was down. So that's like the beauty of like having that, not just pre-recorded, right? Because pre-recorded could just sit there and do nothing, right? It has to be in your funnel. It has to be out there selling for you while you can't do it yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really a game-changing opportunity. And that's, I think what we are talking about today is something really unique in the sphere of the digital marketing scene and the online entrepreneurship scene, because we are kind of like I'm opening the doors to a possibility of having something a bit live, but pre-recorded and then evergreen at the same time. So you don't have to like do a whole bunch of work and then it has to be live and then do it over and over again, like a challenge, right? Can be really tiring, right? If you have ever experienced a challenge or a pressure launch or something like that, you do all this work, it happens like one time, and then you're like, oh, now I have to do it again.
Yes. And that's what I've done. I've done that too. And all of like 2021, I did challenge after challenge after challenge, and they were all live, you know, and I made changes to them, and I had the recordings, but I didn't put them up evergreen. So that is the key, is that you don't have to do it live. You can have some live components, which we did, which was really, really fun, but the majority of it was already recorded. So like if something had happened, I think it would have been like, okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, this is really cool. So let's talk. We're going to be starting in a few days with something really, really special that Kristen and I put together. And it's kind of like the best of our expertise, right, Kristen? You're like, I keep calling you the course queen. You're the course queen.
I know. I love that. I'm like, oh, I'm the course queen.
You're the course queen. And I'll be the virtual event expert. I don't know if I'm a queen, but and we kind of like figured out a way to put these two I don't know what you call it, like a strategy or
like strategy, like methodology, just like the system and the processes of business and putting them together. Because I feel like the worst thing you can do, especially as an online entrepreneur, especially as like a one-woman show, you know, solopreneur, maybe you have one virtual assistant, is having to do like everything over new every single time. That's like draining, and it takes so much time.
Yeah. And especially if you have kids and your like thoughts get fragmented and you don't have the energy to like do it over and over again.
And then you know, I think that's the thing that a lot of people see, especially when they want to do courses or programs, is that you have to be launching all the time, right? That you have to be launching all the time. And that's not true. That's what a lot of people see. You know, some people launch all the time. Maybe they like it. I don't. I don't like launching all the time.
So, okay, is it okay if I ask you a quick question here?
Yeah.
If you say no, I'll probably still ask the question. So you just came out of doing your first summit, and I'm wondering like how this kind of clicked for you in your mind, that you're like, oh my goodness, like this can go together with what I'm already doing. It's not like a separate piece, but it like works seamlessly.
Yeah. I mean, the first couple times we started talking about running the summit and doing it together and thinking about like what you do and what I do, like that was in my brain the whole time we were planning the summit. And my whole thing is like, I don't want to recreate the wheel every time. Like how can we reuse it? I think about that when I do social media. I think about that when I do videos for YouTube. I mean, you guys, if you follow me, you know that I'm always talking about repurposing everything, because I don't want to redo it over and over and over again. So that was honestly in my brain, like I wouldn't say from the very first, but definitely like from the first couple of times that we talked about it.
Yeah. And how do you think this is going to be? I know, because a lot of people here are maybe in the coaching business, or they have maybe played around with courses before, made their own course. How do you think like this, creating kind of like a summit together with a course, is going to be a game changer for their business?
Yeah, I think it's a game changer because you can do something and get the feedback right away. So you can do it live, you know, you don't have to wait and create something in kind of like the vacuum of, you know, your office or whatever you're doing at home, and then not knowing if it's going to work, or not just getting the feedback and then struggling to launch it. Whereas when you start off with the summit, number one, you're not creating everything because it's collaborative, right? You're working with speakers and you're sharing their messages as well. And you're creating the content live, you know, as part of the live event, and selling it, you know, selling the all access pass. So you get that feedback right away and you know it's going to work, so that when you launch it as an evergreen funnel, like you have that confidence already built up that you know it's going to work.
Yeah. And you can even tweak it after. So it's like you do it and then you're like, okay, I could add in something or I can remove something. Yeah, that's really cool.
Or like we did, we tweaked it all the way through. I mean, behind the scenes secrets of summits is that it doesn't stay the same the minute you launch it, right? Because you're looking at the numbers, you're looking at the data, what's working and what's not, and what can we change as we're going through to make it better, like at the moment. That's something that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, is that there's stuff going on behind the scenes to make it better and improve it from like the very first day that you start talking about it.
Yeah, I love that because you're getting live traffic, right? So often, now that you say that, it makes me think of like, you build a funnel, you have a course, and then you're like driving people to it. It might trickle in, right? Unless you're like, you have a lot of money to test on ads and, you're spending a fortune getting people to just test it, right? But a summit, you can actually test in real time, just like you said. And you can see like, what are people like, are you dropping, what is your opt-in rate? Maybe you can switch out a headline. And then test it. And it's all happening in real time. So you don't have to like spend a whole bunch of money on ads in order to see what is hitting and what is like missing with people. So I love that you brought up that point.
Yeah, 100%. And that's so important. And that's like one of a key point when we're talking about like the data of the funnel is that you need people in your funnel to get data to see if it's working. And if you're doing it organically, that's awesome. You're not spending money on it, but it's a trickle, it's not a steady flow. So it's really hard to look at the data, quickly, because you have to wait for enough people to come through. But when you're doing a summit, it's like, it's fast because you have a lot of people sharing about it, a lot of people coming in, and you can make those quick decisions to improve it. And then when you launch your Evergreen funnel, then you can start running ad traffic to it. And you've already made those changes to make it better.
Yeah, it's like one of the perfect ways to test out an offer, test out an audience in order, instead of like, and I think so often we're like, let's build it and then, see if it works. And in this process, it's kind of like streamlining, pivoting quickly. And another thing that I wanted to bring up is like, I know that if we're talking, making a micro course and making a full-on course and driving traffic and paying for ads, we're probably looking at right now, depending on the niche, at least paying $1 per lead up to $30, depending on what it is, right? Like $1 would be amazing.
More than $1.
You're paying way more to get people just to like sign up for your freebie or your opt-in. But the way that, we've done it with the summit is like, you got paid per registration.
Yeah.
Like per lead coming in, you earned money. So it's like, it's a total backwards way of thinking. It's like self-liquidating in that way.
Yeah, it's self-liquidating without the ad spend.
Yeah. So you can test it and then, it's awesome.
When you think about it, like, I think $1 is really cheap, but like for a registration, like a minimum $10, depending on your niche and your topic and everything. But if you think that each registration costs at least $10 and you can reach like 500 to 1,000 people with your summit, like doing the math, like you just saved yourself $10,000, right? That's $10,000. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's crazy. So another funny story, as you're sharing with that with me, and I don't know if I shared that with you before, but a couple of weeks ago I was having a call with a lady and we were talking about like growing audience, getting leads, and she has also like a big high ticket coaching program, and was telling me of all the different ways they had tried in their, they have like a 6-figure business of getting leads. And she said, yeah, we put like $10,000 into Facebook ads. We acquired about 500 new leads from this. It was $8,000. They got 500 new leads. That's just registry opt-ins. And then maybe she was like about 200 were really like valuable, or not valuable, but like 200 were kind of like all right for the offer. Yeah, exactly. And then they made a like less than 10% conversion or something on that. So it was, I don't even know what the conversion is. I'm just making it. I have no idea. I just, in our conversation, she was like, just to get 500 people in the door, we paid $8,000. And the other way she used was getting setters, like paying setters and appointment setters and closers.
Yeah.
And that's the same amount of money. And she said, and we were still getting crappy leads. Like we were still getting like people coming in the door that just were not into us. We're not ready for what we're offering. So I was like, why are you doing a summit? Like this is way better. It's the same amount of work. I mean, it's a lot of work too. But you get a higher quality of person for much reduced price, actually get paid for it.
Because like that is so true. Everything you said, like you're saying the numbers, I'm like, yeah, that sounds totally right. And when you think of just the fact that your summit leads are not cold leads, right? So her leads were cold leads from Facebook ads. They don't know her, they don't know anything what's going on, right? But if you do it with the summit, they are warm leads because they already know likely someone in the summit, right? And that's how they found out about the summit. Someone in the summit shared about it. They already know that person and they're like, oh, she's friends with her because they're in the summit together. I already like her, you know? And so it's already a warm lead. It's worth 10 times more, you know, than the cold leads from Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I've won myself over again. Just talking about it. This is like the fastest way to do it. And then like another thought that came in my head was like, you can do the same method, like with social media. People warm up, they like you, they hear your story, but it takes a lot longer, right? You know, at least with your summit, we did about 90 days and then you get like a new list, right? With social media, it can take a lot longer because it's a long game, right? That's a long game that you're playing and getting people. So you can still do it without the ad spend. With social media, it's just going to take a exponential amount of time, right?
I feel like the 90 days went by so fast. It went by so fast. It didn't feel like a slow process, you know. It didn't feel like a trickle in. It felt like an avalanche at the end, you know, which is an amazing feeling to build momentum in your business, right? Because it's just a good feeling to go into like the next month having all these brand new warm leads.
And I loved what you said, like towards in the middle of the process, like you were interviewing a lot of people and you had said something in one of your posts, like you're getting a little tired with your business. You know, you've been doing courses for, you know, a long time. And I can't remember the exact wording you used, but it kind of brought like a breath of fresh air into your business, you said.
Yeah. I could go back to that post too. I don't remember exactly what it said, but I know the feeling behind it is that I was exhausted, burnt out, like just unenergized. I don't know, that's not a word, but just feeling just down about everything, right? Because I had tried so many different things and I didn't really love it. And I was looking for something new. And then, you know, working with you and doing a summit was like the breath of fresh air. And even as an introvert, like I am the most introverted of introverts. I think I took the test and I'm like, which one is it? The introvert, INTJ. I think that's what I am. And I was like 98% I. It's like I couldn't be any more introverted.
I'm like an E something surprising.
Really?
E. I'm like the opposite of that or something. Like because I think my husband is also yeah.
That's so funny. That's why we work so well together, because I really love working with extroverted people since I'm so introverted. But anyways, I was talking to like 30 different people, 30 different experts, and I personally learned so much during the summit. Like it was a growth experience for me personally in my business, getting so much clarity on my personal business. That's why I loved sharing about it with everyone, because like if I got that much out of it, like everyone else is going to too.
And I think you did.
Yeah. And as an introvert, it wasn't as difficult. Like I felt supported. You know, I felt like I had all these experts around me and you as well to be that like kind of backbone or like support in the whole thing. So I didn't feel like I was doing it alone. I didn't feel like the spotlight was only shining on me.
That's cool. Yeah. And do you think that would have made you feel like awkward if you had to do like an event, a solo event or something, and it was just Kristen for like 4 days, every single day?
And I have done that.
Really? Yeah. I mean, challenges, right?
I've done challenges, which is like that. So, I mean, and we're talking virtual events because I do not want to do in-person events. That's still too much for me. But with the challenges, it was still, the spotlight was always on me. So like getting on Facebook Live for 5 days in a row, 5 days plus, I mean, I was nervous all the time. So this was nice because it was all recorded in advance. So by the time the summit actually started, it was like, oh, put it out there finally,
Yeah. And we even, like, the cool thing about this last summit is we kind of did a hybrid with this one where it was like a little bit live, a lot pre-recorded. So there was that live aspect, but you could just hide yourself, right? You could still engage, you could still be with people, but you didn't have to be forced to be on camera. I think we had, was it 6 hours, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day of sessions?
I feel like 6 was right.
It was about 6 hours.
Yeah. Probably 6 hours.
Yeah.
But like we did a welcome video for 20 minutes or something where we were live. But then the rest of the day, like we were in the comments, we were there, and there was that kind of live aspect, but like our face wasn't there.
It's kind of nice when you don't want to wear makeup. We were just chatting before this about makeup. So
yeah,
that's why I bring that up. Having to wear makeup, being on camera and being like, I really am wearing a lot of makeup, but it doesn't look like it a lot of the time. Anyway. Okay. So I love that you shared all of that about summits. I would love to just hear a little bit more about, what we're going to be doing with the course, because you guys are here and it says like Evergreen events, right? And you're probably wondering how this leads, summit, that sounds awesome. You're building an audience. You're not having to pay for ads. Okay. How does this lead into course creation?
Well, you've already created all the content, right? And now we're not going to just throw that away. We're not just going to let it sit in our Dropbox and like get moldy, never look at it again. So what can we do to reuse it and repurpose it, right? The best thing that you can do is to put it into a course so that you can, and when I say put it into a course, really you're just like renaming it. Instead of a summit, it's an evergreen course. It's the same content. Maybe you add a couple of videos if you see that there's holes in what you've created, or maybe you add some extra worksheets or whatever, but the content's already there. So all you have to do is repurpose it, repackage it, and sell it evergreen, right? Most of everything that you've already created, you're going to reuse, right? So you've already got a sales page for it. You've already got everything already done. It's probably already in some kind of a members area even that you can use, right? Then it's just, how do you market it as an evergreen course, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about in the second half of Evergreen events, is how do you repackage it, make sure it's, packaged up all nice and pretty as a course, and then how do you sell it over and over again? And it's basically not even selling it over and over again, because that feels like action, right? But it's really just like pressing the on button, right? How do you press the on button and let it do the work? And that's what I love about funnels, is that like you build it, it's like a little machine, and then you press the button, it's on.
Yeah, I just had a thought as you were sharing that, that a lot of people get hung up. They create an offer and they're still working on the messaging, and you need that proper messaging for your course. You had briefly touched on that. And I think that's where, you have the summit beforehand to really hone in those things, the messaging, the marketing, that kind of strategy, getting to know who's coming, what they need. And then that's why it's so beautifully put together. Then you have this evergreen course, and you don't even have to worry about the messaging because you've already taken it through kind of like a boot camp.
Yeah, it's like a beta. I was just thinking, like, as you were saying that, it's like doing a beta version of your course, getting all the feedback, because you've talked to the people, going through the summit, you got their feedback, you heard what they loved, you heard what their pain points were, like the reason why they signed up for it. And then, like, if you need to adjust anything on your sales page and your messaging, then you can do that, quickly and easily tweak it.
Yeah. All right. So we're starting on Monday next week. That is August 22nd, right? And we begin at, is it 11 a.m. Eastern? I can't remember. Is it? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't even know where my calendar is. It begins at, no, it's at
9 a.m.
12.
Yeah, so 12
is that 12?
Eastern. Yeah.
Noon. So we're doing a live training for 4 weeks. This is what we're going to be doing together, is a live training for 4 weeks. And we have 2 modules. I'm going to be covering the first 2 modules, which we're going to be talking about planning an audience building event, hosting a virtual event that future clients are going to love. And then Kristen's going to take over the next 2 modules. Do you want to talk about those?
And we'll be talking about creating your funnel, putting it into the course, rearranging anything that you need to, and, you know, pressing the on button for the funnel to get sales in.
That's right. And the awesome part of, like, it's not just a course that you consume, but it's going to be live. So if you have questions, this is the great time. You get both of us. You get to ask all these questions. We can help you through your specific business problems. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can ask questions. Is this summit idea, is this going to be successful? You know, Dani can help you work through the idea of your course to make sure that it's going to really bring in the audience that you want, talking about getting speakers, doing the collaborative part of it. And then you'll be able to ask me, like, which platform should I use? How should I set up my funnel? You know, those types of questions as well. So, like, really getting feedback on your idea and your process is, like, so important.
Yeah, I agree. Are there some other things that we should talk about that we're offering together with our Evergreen Events experience?
Yes, we added a few special bonuses. Let's see. Let me just pull it up on my screen. But yeah, we added some special bonuses just for now. So if you purchase the course before Monday, you'll get these bonuses. After that, I mean, you can trust that this will be available as an Evergreen course, but these bonuses will not be available. So Dani included the simple speaker organization template and the speaker outreach script. Do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you are doing any live event that deals with human beings, you're going to need to be organized and remember who you contacted, who you want to contact, kind of how to brainstorm which speakers would be good. And then I have the outreach script, because I know that one of my biggest problems before I started doing events was, what do I say to them? I don't know what to say to them. Like, what are the words? Someone give me the words. And I love scripts for that reason. So you get my script as well, which is in my my full on, this is what I give my high ticket clients. So
yeah, and like you said, organization is huge. And be organized from the very beginning. That's one of my biggest tips. And then the bonuses in the course for me are an Evergreen sales funnel template, which is a grab and go funnel template in Kartra that you can just take and, you know, use and put into your own system. And also Canva social media promotion template, so that you can easily start promoting it as soon as it's done.
That's so cool. I'm excited, and I love the graphic. Should we drop a link in there for people to check it out? Yeah. I don't know how to do that, so I'll let you do that.
Let's see. Yes, I will drop a link, and then I'll make sure. No, I'm not sure if I can drop a link after all.
Okay. Well, we can always put it in after.
And we'll drop a link into the description so that you can get it. It is scalingsolopreneurs.summit.com/evergreen-events-checkout if you just can't wait for that link. But yeah, we start on Monday, and I'm so excited because this is going to be an amazing course so that you can build your audience and create that course asset at the very same time.
That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're nice to hang out with, and you're going to enjoy hanging out with us and learning about things. We're fun, and there is a bit of work, but it's fun work. So I like to always put that into the things that I do. I want to make sure that our businesses are fun, right? Kristen, you were saying at one point it was like tired and lethargic and you feel like blah, and we want to make sure that we create businesses that we love and we hang out with people that have good energy and are encouraging. And so this is the course for you. If you're thinking, I need a big audience quickly, I don't want to spend years growing, exactly, like 90 days without any ads, and you don't want to have to keep rebuilding things over and over again. If you've tried challenges, like Kristen said, you know, I'm not saying challenges, you can absolutely implement challenges, but if you need something else that is just more like sustainable, this is a really great option.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I love doing it, and having you as an expert to walk me through it, I'm sure saved me so much time. Like, even though time intensive, and it takes work. Like, it would have taken so much more work if I didn't have your guidance.
Yeah.
For sure.
So many more questions. What do I do? That's why we collaborate. And that's like the heart of what we're doing, right? Is, you know, the beauty of business building is you don't have to do it isolated. You don't have to do it alone. You can partner with people who share your values and your vision, and you can grow a lot faster together. So this is probably one of the best ways to like test out something, to launch an offer, even if you're like just thinking about something and you're like, I haven't even built out a course. Never, like, this is perfect. Both. If you have already done it, you have a program, you're going to build a whole new audience for your program. And the other way around, if you're just thinking about things, it's a perfect way to launch, because you create an audience and then ask them, how can I help you? What do you need? And then build from there. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that we need to cover?
No, I think that's it. The link is going to be in the description for wherever you find this video, and we start on Monday. So go ahead and join us now to grab those bonuses, and we'll see you inside the course.
Sounds good. All right.
All right.
Bye.